Now let us go back to the corner one. What I told, you need to make sure that you tick the particular checkbox just to make sure that your Python get installed on the environment path of your laptop, your system, your desktop. Okay. If you fail to do the particular checkbox tick while you was installing, then the second way to do is that make it manually. For that, what you have to do is that go to the place where the Python got installed. Okay. If you don't, what happened is that when you was installing, you would have selected the folder where Python is supposed to get installed. If you never notice that, if you fail to notice that, don't worry. You have another option to see where the Python got installed. Click the idle. This will open this particular screen. Expand it for the better visibility. Go to File and click on the Path browser. Look at the top. C drive, C drive, program file. This is the place where your Python is installed. You can see the libraries. Okay. There are few more libraries which we'll discuss deeply in the next videos. Why this many folders are available for this structure. But basically, this is the place where your Python is installed. C drive, program files, and Python 39. Okay. So now let me go to that folder. This PC, C drive, program files, and Python 39. Go there, double click, and on top of this path window, click and copy this. Once you're done with the copy, what you have to do is that type environment, EIVI. As soon as you type NV, you will get this option, edit the system environment variable. Click that. When you click, it will open this particular tab where you can select the environment variable. Select this. When you select, you can see a variable name called path. If you don't see anything called path, you can click new, create a path, and paste your folder that you copied. Click OK. If you already has a path, click and edit. Edit and go to the last tab, double click and paste it. Just here, double click and you can paste it. I already has here. Look at that. Okay. Click OK, and click OK. Now what you did, when you fail to do the tick of the particular checkbox during the installation, you no need to worry. You can do it right here. This is what setting up an environment variable manually. Okay, done and dusted. Now let us go back to the corner 2 again. What I told you, idle is one set of editor that Python gives you by default, which is going to help you in writing the code. For that, you need to know how to write a code, right? So let me show that again. This is idle. When you open idle, the what you see right away inside this is just the shell. What you see in the command prompt, exactly the replica you are seeing here. Look at that. You can type here itself. Look at that. Print networks academy. You can type here. Not at all issue. But unfortunately, when you want to edit, when you want to reuse that, you cannot do that. So what you do is that every time, let me do it again from the scratch. Type IDLE, click there. It will open a shell. But I urge you people not to use the shell. Better go to file, click new file, and save this file. Save it in a folder. Okay, look at that. Python installation editor. Just a namesake. While you keep the name for a file also, you should put some utter care to do it. Okay, I see people name a file with lot of fancy names. Don't do that. Always save the file name with a proper structure. First, the language Python underscore that particular topic underscore maybe the timestamp, say March 7, March 6 for the better understanding. So file name is very important because in future, right, it may end up in a conflict with some other things. Okay, just to make sure that you don't end up in a conflict, better to keep in mind that to create a file name with a proper naming. So now what you can do, you can start writing the code from here. Okay, so print whatever it is, you can do it here. Look at that print statement, hello. Okay, so when you want to run, you can go and select this option, run module. It will return the output. Okay, if not, you can click F5, function F5 in your system, and get this run. This is how you run an idle stuff. Okay, and when you want to type another code, say I want to type welcome, and if I run again, what happened? Both hello and welcome will get printed as a part of output. If you want both, you can print as it is. If you want only the welcome to be printed, then what you're supposed to do? You need to hide the previous line. What you have to do? Select, type Alt 3. So basically, Alt plus 3 is for commenting, and Alt plus 4 is for uncommenting. If you want to uncomment, select and type alpha. This is to hide and non-hide the data, because whenever you try something for the testing, right, don't delete and do it again and again. So when you see that certain code works, you comment that when you want to go for the next level of code. Okay, now this is what, or this is how you run a file using a idle. The problem with executing a code on idle is that it may not gives you a lot of feature that you accommodate with some other technologies. In idle, you'd have a less intelligence, basically less feature, in fact. Okay, so just to make sure that you want to understand the code properly, my suggestion is that for the first few videos or first few classes, better to play with idle so that you'll understand the syntax deeply. Why? Because when you run this same code in some other editor, right, it will give you the chance of correcting the error automatically. That means what? You will become lazy. You may not understand the syntax deeply. Okay, that's why I'm telling that better to use idle at the start of your career. Once you're done and dusted, once you feel that you're good at it, right, then you can go for other editor. Now, when I say other editor, there are a lot of editors that is available in market, but one that we use predominantly as a part of a project in our company is PyCharm. So go there, click on PyCharm download. You will get this icon. Click over here, and when you come down, you can see there are two icons. One on the left hand side, which is in a blue color, and another one which is on the right side, which is a black color. Now you should select this one. The download is which is in the black color. This is the community edition, which is a free. If you download professional, you can use only for 2 days, and after that you need to pay some amount to reuse that. So better to download the community edition. Okay, same thing, it is going to download the same file, download file. What you can do is that keep selecting the next. Here in PyCharm, there is no necessity of choosing what to select and all. Once it is done with the installation, once it's done with the download, double click and start installing by clicking next. Okay, there is no way that you need to wait or wait for my request to do certain things. Okay, you can start, click the complete next and get this installed on your system. So once it is installed, you can get it from here. When you type PyCharm, you will get this editor, and you can click and you can start play with this editor. There you see, a PyCharm is open. When you want to create a new project, you can click a new project and you can start work on the PyCharm stuff. Okay, so this is how you need to work with PyCharm. This is the downloads of SDK in detail. Okay, so we are done with the installation, we are done with the download, we are done with how to execute a code on idle as well as PyCharm. Okay, so in next video we'll see about how to interactively work and what is the way to work. That means what are the data types and how to work with the data type. That is what we're gonna see in our next video. So thank you so much guys, and we'll see you in next video.